Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. If you need any help with anything, check out finding-value.com. We still have a discount going on called Holidays in the description link below. If you're interested, and we can dive in here and I can give you my financial opinions to see what's going on today. So looking at the dollar, the DXY, we are right sitting on support. That white line is that big long-term support level going across here. It's that big horizontal line, and we're sitting right on top of it. So we're getting support at the moment. That's why it came back up throughout the day, and we'll see if we can punch through it. What's going to punch through it? Most likely, we need to watch yields. Yields falling, I think the dollar will punch through. If yields start to kick back up here, we could stay above that support level for a little while. So looking at yields, the 2-year was down 0.6%. And we've got the big selling pressure move lower. These big red candlesticks that are showing out all through here. We got another one through there as well. So there is still a lot of downside momentum, still a lot of, I'll say, buying pressure. It's buying pressure in bond prices causing the yields to drop. And right now we've kind of paused right at this section, and we'll see where it goes from there. And we can look at bond prices too. TNX yields look like they're smoothing out to some degree, like it's going to try to put in a bottom and turn. And the 30-year yield also at support, this long, support level coming through here, and it does look like it wants to try to turn higher in the short term. So yields higher means bond prices could go lower on the long end of the curve. TYX TNX ratio, it is up today. That is favorable for gold to go higher. So we had slightly lower dollar, yield curve uninverted a little bit, and that's generally good for gold and precious metals. Bond prices on the 20-year, this still to me looks like it wants to go down and maybe do a retest down there. So we might see in the short term yields go, I'll say yields go up, bond prices go down for only the short term. And then I think once we hit this support level, I think it will turn and go back up, which means yields will go back down. Gold up 13 bucks an ounce. And are we going to get some movement higher here? We could go sideways for a period of time if yields do go up, which it does look like that's going to occur. But I think it's only going to occur for a short period of time. So if I were to make a guess, I think gold's going to go sideways to slightly lower for a little period of time before heading higher because of where yields are going to go. And that's going to apply to all these. So we might have a little bit more sideways to slightly lower action before that occurs in all the precious metals. That is my guess. It's not a prediction. It's just a guess of what could occur in the short term. But everything looks good. We're above support, or we're trying to break through resistance in a lot of these. And looks like palladium looks like it's got a little squeeze going on today. At the past three trading sessions. So that looks good to continue higher. Maybe a little bit more sideways action over the short term, but it looks good to go higher over the longer or medium term. XEU to gold ratio up 0.43%. We haven't broken the big downtrend line yet, but I think this is getting ready to try to break it. We may have a little bit more short term, I'll call it noise, before breaking the downtrend line. And that just deals with yields doing bond prices doing a back test, yields doing a back test. So short term, we make it one last buying opportunity before heading higher. CRB index up a little bit today, and we'll see if we're going to punch through this or not. If we punch through it, that means oil is most likely moving higher. But today, basically sideways for the CRB index. The CRB to S&P 500 also moving sideways today, and I think this is trying to put in a bottom and eventually work its way and turn on higher. or the CRB to S&P 500. GDX, we are up about 0.7%. Again, I think we're going to do a return move in the short term based off yields. GDXJ and SILJ, it's the same thing. So think of it as a breakout retest, and then a move on higher. That's kind of my best guess path for these three. Crude oil, we are down a little bit today, but it still looks good. We're sitting on top of support. We can run this support line across here. We kind of hit it, came down below, did a little double bottom, and we're just on top of that double bottom. Could even maybe put it like that, somewhere in that range there. And we're just moving sideways, not much selling pressure, so that looks good, and I think it will continue higher with time. Sideways to higher. TTF gas, we're down or up 1%, but momentum still to the downside, and we could still try to base out here. So momentum still down and lower. Natural gas up 1.67. We have a bullish engulfing here, and that does look like it's going to try to work its way on higher. We haven't really based out much here, so we might do a little bit more sideways action before moving on up. And I'm just basing that off of this bullish engulfing and the downward pressure. XOP, yeah, you know me, coming right up against resistance, and that's where we're at. We're at resistance. We need crude oil to get moving, and we still have the big inverted shoulder head shoulder that we can break out of. OIH also just moving sideways, and we're up against, looks like, resistance right where we're at. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust down a little bit. We're still within this rising wedge pattern. Are we going to fall? Statistically, that's where a lot of these go, but I'm not convinced. We'll see where this actually ends up breaking out of. URA, a little bit of selling pressure today towards the end of the day. That's why we've got a wick at the top. So we came on up, and then we sold off throughout the day kind of slow. Still looks okay. And again, let's give it some time, and then we'll see what patterns we put in place here. So a little bit of selling pressure right where we're at. Same with URNM and URNJ. It's the same thing. A little bit of selling pressure towards the end of the day, giving us wicks at the top. And sometimes they pull back or go sideways with those wicks at the top. Reversal candlestick. TAN moving sideways today. Well, down 0.9%, but still looks good to go higher over the medium term. So we broke out, and we might come back and do a little retest before heading up. Or if we could break. We can break, but it looks good. It's in a bottoming pattern. It's trying to go higher with time. COPX down 0.2%. Still looks good. Not a huge reversal candlestick or anything. Lithium up 1.4%. A little bit of resistance right where we're at. REMX also moving on up higher today, 1.78%. Looking pretty good. And looks like it's trying to work its way on higher here. So that looks pretty good. S&P 500 sideways. Again, let's see where this thing goes. This is a bearish candlestick there, and we don't have much of buying pressure. This very easily could sell off, and I'm just going to sit and do nothing and just watch it. I'm not doing anything with the S&P 500 anyway, but is this a double top? Don't know, and we'll have to see if we punch through or not. NASDAQ also moving up a little bit, but not really convincing move. But again, let's wait and watch and see what happens in these two indices. KRE up 0.63%, and I think it still looks good to go higher. There's not much selling pressure here. We've broken out of this basing pattern, and we are kind of just doing a retest before moving on higher. Emerging markets right on support. We were down about 0.5%, and we're right on support. Still looks good to go on up. Over time, still looks good. XHB up 0.4% roughly, and just moving sideways before a move higher, in my opinion. We've got MOO sideways today, momentum-wise, up 0.33%. Still looks good to go higher over time. It's these bullish engulfings that are giving me the signal that I think they're going to go higher. We've got copper down a little bit, but again, we're sitting on top of the trend line support area, and I think eventually it'll work its way on up in 2024. Iron ore down 0.6%. But again, I think we're going higher because of the breakout to the upside of this big falling wedge, and we still have room to move on up. Aluminum ripping higher. This looks really good to just rip. For aluminum, we were up 3.5% on aluminum. Big buying pressure, a little bit of sell off, and then again, momentum's definitely to the upside. Baltic Dry Index down, but again, I think we're going to go higher. Why do I keep saying we're going to go higher here? Because we have such big momentum here, and we're just falling kind of slowly, kind of I think back to do a retest. Newcastle coal down a little bit, down about 0.5%, but again, this is a good location to be looking to purchase because we're sitting on top of the base here. Bitcoin down a little bit, 0.64%, still looks good to go higher. No big reversal candlestick, still looks good. And Ethereum looks good to go higher as we were up 3.5% already higher today, and we've broken out of this pattern there. So that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website. We do have a 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time question and answer session for members occurring tomorrow, Saturday. If you want to join, you can ask questions. If you're part of the community, and ask me whatever you'd like, and we'll go over a whole bunch of different things that you guys want me to. So that's what I've got for today. Everything's still looking A-okay, and we're just kind of riding this thing going up and down. Still looks good to go higher. So that's what I've got. We'll catch you guys later. This is Finding Value.